Greetings, students. This is Dr. Belinda Lopez talking to you all about ICT used for development. Now, before we go into ICT for development, I would like to really introduce the concept of development. Now, what is our understanding of development, especially from the perspective of extension education? We as extension educators are supposed to be acting as bridges between the use of technology and the people who are inventors of technology and the users of technology. So, given in this context, how do we see development? What kind of inventions do we see as necessary for the communities? And how best can communities improve the quality of their lives? These are questions that we need to ask and understand when we are working with the people in the community. Most communities think of development as its ability to increase the quality of its life. Once they reach the stage of wherein they want the quality of their life has improved, they looking at options, increasing their options for options and choosing their ability to choose their life skills. So in this context, when we are looking at development of increasing the options, increasing the quality of life in a community, how does extension play its role in developing the community? Now, what extension does is takes in the research findings, brings in the new inventions that are happening, technology is developing, brings in this technology to the people in the village. Because there is always a person who is inventing and a person who is using. When the person who has invented a particular technology, he does not actually bring about that kind of a change or doesn't spend so much of time trying to translate that into people's acceptance. He's more worried about inventing the things, developing the technique of using it, and therefore he is not interested in translating that technique into usable knowledge. So that is where extension plays a role. Extension focuses on translating the technique, translating the design, translating the product into a system wherein people are able to use those new inventions, use those techniques. So in this process, when it is trying to translate invention into usable techniques, ICT comes into play. ICT is the information communication technology that we have developed, and how we are using that to carry forward the technology that is being developed. Quality of life is improving, and as quality of techniques are improving, and it is extension through its methods and processes trying to carry forward the new quality of life. ICT for development. Now, before we go into ICT, we need to really understand what is technology. Technology is the use of scientific knowledge in everyday living. It is knowledge comprised of design that is capable of constructing devices, products and processes produced by man and to be used by man. It is diagonally opposite to science, which is a study of the natural world. It requires a thorough knowledge of science. An example is the technique of leverage. It was developed through a thorough understanding of the concepts of physics. The next thing that is required is creativity and imagination and the ability to design. Skills in translating concept in the design is also very important. The skill is the ability that humans develop as a result of knowledge and practice. An example is the ability to draw a picture which conveys a message. Technology also requires raw materials to produce a design. Examples are copper, aluminium. These are necessary if you have to manufacture any kind of machine or a computer. Technology also requires tools to work with. Examples are hammers and machine. Technology also requires energy to create. Technology indicates manufactured objects like tools. Tools and examples of tools are stones, axes and hammers. Another example is equipments. Equipments are machines and apparatus. Another examples are containers that we produce. Containers could be pots, ponds, houses. Another technology is furniture. Furniture could be chairs and tables and objects like that. The purpose for which technology is created is to increase the capabilities of humans. With a mobile phone, interaction is possible with a person who is not physically present. The purpose of technology is also to assist humans in their day-to-day work. With a computer, a teacher could explain a concept better. The purpose of technology is to increase the abilities of humans. A calculator will make possible the calculation of complex data. Technology also assists undertaking activities which are beyond the capacities of human physical strength, like an excavator, which will assist in creating a pond. Now we need to look at the history of technology. A rise of civilization can be associated with technological innovations. The puller cart, the plough, the potter's wheel are some of the very first technological artifacts that were adopted by man. The adoption of technology in earlier civilizations like Egypt, Mesopotamia, India influenced social organizations with ripples across the globe, resulting in the formation of cities. When history is studied, one sees a series of steps consisting of the inventions, innovations, and diffusion adoptions that are followed. When the technique of typewriter was invented, innovations followed in the discovery of using it as a means of written communication. Typewriter as a means of communication was diffused through specifically set up schools to teach the technique of typing, and this led to the adoption of typewriter as a means of written communication. This series of steps are visible right from the day man started developing the technique of using stones as a means of digging and cutting. Humans started identifying different materials to produce food, build shelter and clothe themselves, and defend themselves from others. Every generation developed new techniques and passed it on to their offsprings. This in turn refined the technique and increased its adaptability to assist humans in their day-to-day life. A good example is the discovery of the technique of leverage. This led to the discovery of wheels, later to the pulley system. The adoption of this technique moved in two different directions. On the one side, it was the bullock carts, horse carts, carriages, etc. On the other side, it was the discovery of the winch, cranes, lifts, etc. All these are considered as mechanical techniques. Later, they were automated with the discovery of steam, electricity, etc. and to the present day of digital technology. Looking at the history of technology, we see a general progress from a stage of developing techniques to assist in day-to-day living to the stage of increasing the quality of life, following through to a stage of division of labor, leading to increasing the variety and complexity of the products and services produced, to a stage of dependency, relatedness among and between groups and networks. The present day technology. Global Information Technology Report 2016 considers the present day to be the fourth revolutionary phase in the use of technology. The first phase saw the transition from the mechanical individual use of technology to societies becoming urban and industrial. The steam engine, iron, textile industry played a crucial role in the first phase. The second phase saw the use of science, use of electricity, followed by the third phase called the digital revolution, when the computer, internet and information technology came into the play. The present day is considered to be the fourth phase, which is, as usual, building on the digital phase. Breakthroughs are being made in the field of robotics, artificial intelligence, graphene, nanotechnology, quantum computing, biotechnology, the Internet of Things, 3D printing, autonomous vehicles, drones, massive open learning courses, virtual currencies, wearable technology, aquaphonic systems, smart home technology, electricity storage, etc. This The focus in this phase is on processing and storing data to facilitate access to knowledge by a larger number of people. Information communication technology are the backbone of this phase. The present day focus on the broadband internet, which is considered to be one of the most convenient and general technology. It is developing its capabilities to impact social structures and economies. It is considered to be one of the global drivers of innovations. Its adoption and the role of technology. The role of technology can be viewed through a prism of community development. The varied application and adoption associated with technology is as colorful as the rainbow. The prehistoric period was a time when man discovered and made associated technological inventions such as cultivation, use of fire and the wheel, which played an important role in the change from nomadic life to settlements, began community living, developed the system of trade and commerce. These and many more changes took place, but they were all slow and steady transition from one stage to another. It is important to note the role of extension education in this process. The concept was definitely not articulated, but people developed systems of transmitting the information and knowledge that they gained from one generation to another. With every new invention of technology, be it the discovery of fire as a cooking medium or the construction of houses, the approaches of extension such as participation and cooperation can be traced. In the 18th century, a revolution took place, which is considered as the first phase of technological revolution. A breakthrough was made which moved communities from an agrarian handicraft economy to one of industry and mission manufacture. This again brought about many changes in the social, cultural and economic structure of societies. The textile industry, which was a key driver of the first technological revolution, played an important role in the way in which societies functioned. It began the process of urbanization, creation of a labor class of factory workers, later provided space for networking and collective formations of the factory workers. The factory system brought with it new organizational techniques and associated development in technology such as a loudspeaker. Therefore, in the first phase of technological revolution is considered as a constantly moving equilibrium in the development of technology. Learning by doing. In this phase is characterized by the fundamental extension concept of learning by doing. Generally, when new technologies are developed, they are rough. As people use it, they make subsequent improvements, adoption to it, and they are gradually diffused as new technology. People learn by using it in their day-to-day life. During the second phase of technological revolution, the focus was on science. Technology played its role as accounting. With the invention of books and pens, and accounting techniques were advanced. Science was used to improve technology. Techniques of building bridges and other large-scale works such as ships, cars, boilers were developed. This brought in the application of pure science in the development of technology. Electrical engineering made great progress during this phase. This was an important phase from the perspective of extension education because laboratories were introduced. Tremendous research was undertaken in order to improve technology. Research institutes in the form of government or university departments, public and private undertakings were seen during this phase. Advancement in technology played an important role in bringing about the character of professionalism into society. Administrative and technical and managerial functions were also clearly distinguished because of the large-scale use of technology. Technological progress translated into recognition of qualification to the use of technology. During the third phase, the focus was on digital technology. These digital technologies developed networks that assisted communities to operate with networked information. They were expected to achieve sustainability such as economic sustainability by creating jobs, boosting critical industries, supporting new and varied economic opportunities. Social sustainability, such as helping people to connect with each other, develop connections with people beyond physical reach, enhancing service provisions, better the quality of life, and bring about social inclusion. Environmental sustainability, decrease the negative impact of environment use, assist in creating a greener society. India is a country that is densely populated, and the internet has been making a definite impact. The government has been able to increase the provision of services to the citizens of the country, thereby increasing the quality of life and independence of people in their day-to-day life. ICT has been able to give national, international access to general population of the country. People are able to market their products at regional, national and international levels. New kinds of earning and income have risen. Jobs have been created, made the people, the state and the country more competitive. Telecom and network connectivity has been an enabler in the nation's socio-economic growth. Broadband and UID are key factors that assisted in the penetration of the ICT in the country's social scenario. Not only is ICT adopted by private sectors, it has also been adopted by the government of the country. The e-forms application project is a classic example of the adoption of the ICT by the government for public benefit. This is a project where the state portal, state service delivery gateway and the electronic form aim to create an integrated information infrastructure that shall expand, integrate and enhance the utility and reach of the service provided by the government to the citizens through common service centers by leveraging the common infrastructure at the state and union territory level. This is able to assist the citizens to access the services under a single interface mechanism from the portal. As an example, the e-application project, which combines state portals with this, citizens can access the services under a single interface mechanism from the portal. The success of the e-forms depends on the three pillars, namely the SWAN, the state data centers and the CSAs. In conclusion, what we can say is extension has been in existence right from the time the concept of technology was invented. The moment we started realizing that we can improve the quality of life, that is when the concept of extension also came in being. As and when we developed the simple technique of using a fire for cooking. So when they realized that technique of using fire, they carried that technique to the next generation, and that is where the beginning of extension can be seen. So extension is there from the beginning and extension will always be there. So and the extension methods and approaches is also constantly progressing with the kind of technology that is being invented. As and when new techniques are invented, extension identifies, develops new techniques to translate the invention to general use. So in conclusion, what we have to really understand is extension plays a major role in communication and in invention, because without extension we will not be able to progress.